Hey everyone, Will here. So I thought I'd just do a wee talking point on the new Nintendo console, the Nintendo Switch. Now, I have a love-hate relationship with Nintendo. Sometimes they bring something that is truly masterful, and then other times they know how to really mess it up. And I'm hoping this time they've got it right, but my question is, are they too late with the console market? That's the problem I don't know if they're facing. I think the way they've brought this machine out is close to what the Wii U is, and I feel like, say, the Wii U was kind of like a beta test to see, like, this is the way we want to go for casual gamers and try and get like the hardcore gamers like myself involved with Nintendo once again, because you have got Sony and Microsoft dominating the market, and Nintendo consoles have always been looked at as the baby consoles. Now, I'm not saying they're bad consoles. I think the last best machine they brought out was the GameCube, and then obviously the N64. Up till the GameCube, Nintendo couldn't do anything wrong. Now, everybody will go on about the sales of the Wii, stuff like that, but let's be honest, the Wii was a gimmick. And as soon as the gimmick got bored, you never played it again. And that's the sad thing about a console. You want to be still engaged in the console. I wasn't a fan of motion controls, I never have been a fan of them, and the fact that most of the games needed them, but their third party support was really poor, and it was a lot of children's games, and you had the odd adult game, which really brought that machine down. Then they brought out the Wii U, and I bought the machine. I really liked the concept of the machine, and the fact you were getting the, like, Zelda, well, when it was advertised, let's be honest, when it was showed at E3, okay, you seen a Zelda, and you're like, wow. You seen aliens, Colonial Marines, you went wow, because you thought, oh, you could use the motion tracker with the gamepads, and how the gamepad switched to the telly. If somebody wanted to watch the actual TV, you can move it to the telly and use the screen to play your game. Great concept. It never really took off. I think they struggled for sales, if I remember right. And a theory I had was, what happens if this machine wasn't called the Wii U? And I think that's what a lot of problems people had. My wife was one of those people. She thought you just bought the tablet, it connected to the Wii, that was it. No, because it was another console as well. There was a lot of confusion with that machine. If you're not looked up in gaming, and you're just a parent going to buy a machine, and you thought, oh right, okay, we all play the Wii, that must be an extra accessory for it, they never really sunk that home to the audience that don't really know. And I believe that's how that machine failed. On top of that as well, you had the PS3 360 coming to its end, PS4, Xbox One coming out. Again, third party support ran away with they two. Nintendo was left again. And I always remember an interview they done with one of the Bethesda producers, and what he was saying was, Sony and Microsoft came to Bethesda, this is what the machines are going to be like, you can work around what you've got to do, that's it. Whereas Nintendo would go to them and say, this is what the machine is doing, you have to get it to do that. And they went, no, there's no give or take. It's like, no, we want to try this, we can't just focus on this as the gimmick. And that's that. There was just no give or take with Nintendo, and that's how a lot of the third party games, like people seen, like Aliens never came out for it, but the less said the better about that game. I think there was only one Call of Duty, Black Ops 2, an Assassin's Creed, a Batman, a Mass Effect 3, Bayonetta 2, but I know the fans wanted that on other consoles, but if I remember right, if it wasn't for Nintendo, there wouldn't be another Bayonetta 2, and that's the sad thing about that. That game is brilliant, but because we're in the day and age, it's all first-person shooters or zombies, stuff like that, a lot of these great games get missed. So Nintendo yesterday announced the Nintendo Switch, and we knew this was in production. A lot of us thought it was going to be tablet-based anyhow. They're really gearing towards the casual gamer, and trying to make exceptions for the hardcore gamer. And what they came with was a variation, I feel, on the Wii U. Like I said, I feel like we were beta testers, like so with the Kinect, 2.0, but the Kinect failed. Let's just be honest, the Kinect failed. And the machine looks nice to look at. I've got to give it that, the machine looks really nice. My problem with being like a hardcore gamer is I like to look and be immersed in the big screen playing my games. I don't like watching on like a small screen, because I've got the specs up for it just now, so I can go through the specs and we'll see what they've got. So what the machine is coming with, it looks like, just early rumours are saying it goes up to 32 gig storage. You've got the Nintendo Switch console and the Nintendo Switch dock, which connects to your telly, so that's like the main hub of the game. Games look like they're on a game card now instead of disc, so I don't know how that's going to look like, well, how it's going to be, if you know what I mean, if they're going to sacrifice some stuff. That's my worry, but we'll see when that happens, but that's my worry for that. You've got the controllers on the side, which splits off, and you've also got a Pro controller if you're playing like say hardcore games. I would probably play with the Pro controller, that's more my style. The two joypads obviously connecting to the big joypad, I don't like the look of it. It just looks bulky. And that's really like the gimmick of this machine. Now it's got a powerful NVIDIA GPU, which is great. So the specs it's got is a 4-ARM Cortex A57 cores, max 2 GHz, NVIDIA 2nd generation Maxwell Architect, 256 CUDA cores, max 1 gigs, 1024 flop cycle, 4 gig of RAM or 25.6 gigabytes VRAM shared, the 32 gig storage, which is still, that they're saying is still a wee bit early news, I'm still trying to find that out. USB 2.0, 3.0, which makes me think with the 3.0 are they going to bring something down the line where you can connect, or likes of like an Oculus Rift. I'm just saying that one, but like a virtual reality headset. The screen, 128 by 720, so basically 6.2 inches, IPS LCD. It runs up 1080p at 60 frames per second, or 4K at 30 frames per second max video. Wow. Capacity method 10-point multi-tool touch. Okay. Now, here's the other thing, like say me and my friend Graham were talking about this, and the likes of, it looks like Skyrim was in the trailer. Now, yes, you have the remastered Skyrim coming out, okay? My problem being with this is, I say you stuck with Nintendo for all those times, and you never played Skyrim. Great, you've got your chance, but that game was 5 years ago. So it's now took Nintendo to now finally catch up with, say, this game. I'm not saying with other games to come, but this one game, okay? So, their new release is a game that's 5 years old. Fair enough if it's remastered, but it's still 5 years old. And this is them just catching up with what the market's been going against for the last 5 years. But by the time this comes out, it might be 6. They're still, it looks like 2017. I'd be really surprised if they actually drop a hint and say, no, what, we're going to release it Christmas this year. I'd be really surprised. But it's one of those ones where I'm like, is it too little too late for Nintendo? It's a great concept, I'm not trying to knock it back. I'll try the machine out. Like I said, I tried the Wii U and I loved it. But is it too late for this machine already and for this company? Purely in the console market. Of course it'll do well in Japan. I'd like to see Nintendo do well. Everybody still loves Nintendo. But they need, I feel, and like my friend said as well, they need bigger games. I'd love to see a Pokemon put on the home console close to what you have on the Nintendo 3DS, because look how big Pokemon Go got. Don't get me wrong, it's died now. But imagine stuff like that on it. And on top of that, some of the third-party supporters they've actually got back in it. Like with the picture here, Platinum as usual, obviously Sega, but now you've got Bethesda and Epic, Unity, stuff like that. It's going on this console. It's a great sign. So we just have to see what's going to be like. And From Software, which I think is a biggie. I'm a massive From Software fan. But again, it's just we have to wait and see what this machine's going to be like. A lot of people's blown it away by how amazing it's going to be. I would wait and see. A lot of people said the same about the Wii U, and it died. It died. So let's keep our opinions really open about this one. Hopefully they do it well. I'd like to see it done well, but we just have to make sure it's done right, and Nintendo get it right this time. Any more news, I'll bring it about Nintendo Switch. So that's just a little my take on it anyhow. I'd like to see it do well, but I'm still open to what can happen to it, and there's a couple of things that I'm not too sure on, but until we actually see it and how it runs official, then that's when I'll be sold. So like and subscribe to the channel as usual, leave any comments you need, and thanks a lot for listening.